As a fan of American country music living in Ireland, I have been extremely lucky to have seen so many of my favourite acts and bands in concert. Over the years, I've been fortunate enough to see Garth Brooks, Randy Travis, Brad Paisley, the Zac Brown Band, Casey Musgraves, Carrie Underwood, and even the Son of God himself, Shooter Jennings. God, of course, being Waylon, in case you didn't know. And so many more. In the last few years, the highlight has been the Country to Country Festival. It started off in London only, which really annoyed me. Yeah, let's say annoyed. That's a better word. But thankfully, the second year they added the Dublin date and even took it up to a 3-night event in 2016. I've seen so much good live country music thanks to it, and I waited with bated breath for them to announce this year's acts. And when they did, I was so meh. Underwhelmed. The word this time is underwhelmed. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but the only act I've been waiting to see is Tim McGraw, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. But the rest I've either seen before, or don't know, or just don't care about too much. So there I was, all disappointed that the highlight of my music year was a bit of a damp squib. I didn't seem to be the only one either, with a lot of the feedback I saw being along the same lines. Now I could just jump in and wallow in the disappointment, or I could use it as an opportunity and maybe take a better look at the artists playing this year. One thing I've learned about country music over the years is that the more you know about the music and the people behind it, the more you love it. So over the next few podcasts, I'm going to explore the artists playing country to country this year and hopefully get some of my excitement back. I'm going to focus on the acts who are playing Dublin and work my way through the lineup night by night. That means starting with the acts playing Dublin on the Friday and working my way along each night. First up is the opening act on that first night, Luke Combs. Luke is a native of North Carolina, the home place of Eric Church, who Luke claims to be a big fan of, so that's a good start. He's only recently released his major label album, but his musical story doesn't start there. That being said, it only started 6 short years ago, when he first picked up a guitar and started to play, and when he reached the point where he knew enough songs, he started to play in front of people. He started off in North Carolina's college towns and built up a strong following. He took the next step when he released a self-funded EP, which did quite well, thank you very much. Good enough that he was able to quit the 2 jobs he was working to make a living, freeing him up to move to Nashville and focus full-time on music. He kept the ball rolling with 2 more self-funded EPs. That most recent EP though was almost his undoing. His first 2 were total DIY efforts, but the new one was meant to be a more professional effort with Scott Moffat on board as a producer. But when Scott turned around and said they needed to master the tracks, Luke got a shock. His first 2 EPs had only been mixed, not properly mastered, a process that would cost $200 per track. Money Luke just didn't have. What he decided to do was perfect for the times. He spent the money he did have all on 1 track, Hurricane, and released it to iTunes as a single. It sold 14,000 copies in the first week and he was able to finish the EP. Hurricane landed Luke his big record deal, and he and producer Scott Moffat have expanded that EP into a full album. As for the music itself, well, first up, the good points. Number 1, Luke had a hand in co-writing each track on his debut album. That's a great start. He has a good, powerful voice, keeping things on the right track. For me though, the sound he's going with at the moment is a little too bro country for my taste. It's all a wall of guitar and drum sounds, drowning out the individuality. It smothers the songs, which is a shame because the songs are good. They've got clever lyrics, but they're lost. Luke should have a little more faith in his songs. Give them some room, let them breathe. They don't need to be chasing the sound of the moment to be popular. They're good enough by themselves. Same for his voice. Too many times he's got that macho growl to it when it sounds so much better when he lets a little sweetness into it. So, I guess I don't like him. Hell no, this guy is good with tons of potential. Did I mention he only picked up a guitar 6 years ago? Think about that. In 6 years, he went from knowing nothing about music to releasing an album on a major label. An album he wrote and got the chance to do because of how far he's come in those 6 years. This guy is talented, and I can't wait to see where he goes when he listens to himself a bit more and I really can't wait now to see him live. He's built his reputation so far on his live performances, and I'm sure he'll get this year's Country to Country off to a flying start. So, what songs should we listen to of his? First up has to be Hurricane, the song that landed him his record deal. The song's about seeing the girl you just broke up with when you go out and the effect it can have on you. Great song with strong lyrics. Up next, his second single off the album. The album's called This One's For You, by the way. The song's called When It Rains, It Pours. And it's another breakup song. Well, what can we say? But I guess the cliche about country music and breakup songs has a ring of truth to it. Anyway, the song's another well-written tune, this time taking the meaning of the title and turning it on its head, with this breakup leading to nothing but good things. It's got a good video too, which I'll include on the YouTube playlist. I think this is my favourite track of his. Another one I like is Beer Can. Just a fun song about having a few drinks. Well, maybe more than a few, to be honest. But again, a good tune, not taking itself too seriously. Then I like the title track of the album, called, as I said, This One's For You. It's a thank you to the people who've helped him along the way, his family, friends, and fans. Nice to see he already knows it takes more than just talent to succeed. The next track, One Number Away, is a great tune, and yes, it's another breakup song, but admit it, the best songs are. I love the sound of this song. It's got a nice modern country sound, but at the same time the song isn't lost in the production. I think we'll keep this playlist short. After all, he's only got one album out, so let's leave it at that. The album again is called This One's For You, if you want to check it out in its entirety. If not, I will, as always, have the playlist up on Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube, if you haven't subscribed to the first two services. All you have to do to find them is search for Country Music Musings. In the next podcast, we'll be looking at Kip Moore, who's up after Luke on the Friday night in Dublin. Thanks for listening to my ramblings about country music again. I now have a page up on Facebook if you want to like that, and it has more updates and links. You can of course follow my Twitter, and you can subscribe to the podcast on podomatic.com and iTunes. As always, you just have to search for Country Music Musings. Please show your support and let me know you're out there. And I'm not just talking to myself, although to be honest, even if I am, I'm going to keep doing it. That's all for now. Until next time, enjoy the music.